In today's episode, first ride on the new foil. I'm with William, I'm with Christian, engineers and designers from Scott. And I've been warned, they're very, very fast. Take it easy on me, boys, yeah?
Yeah, as always.
What's this, the lunchtime loop? Where are we going?
So we're heading basically in the direction of Bern, and we will like turn around just a bit before to a town called Aarberg. So there's like a pretty famous river which goes through there, and then we do a little climb and return. Really nice loop.
Sweet.
Quite bad at swimming, you know.
You're bad?
Bad.
Show me,
So bad.
show me.
No, never. Just over there.
I thought we were testing aero bikes. Why are we going up this big climb?
But aero doesn't mean heavy. It can be light. You will see. Hey, let's go. Only spinning the legs. That was good today.
Yeah, so easy, mate. This is their lunchtime ride. How many people join your lunchtime ride? Just you two. No one else has ever come back. So we had planned a really great video with the designer and the engineer for the foil, but instead of doing any interview stuff, we've just ripped each other's legs off.
We need some water now.
And now we need some water. Lunchtime ride. Never again. Here's your salad.
Not too bad. Enough energy for 20k.
Oh, it matches my jersey. First ride on the new foil, first impressions, rapid and remarkably comfortable. How have you done that?
It started with the new UCI rules, so we are now able to have deeper profiles, means faster profiles, but obviously we could have gone even further, but then the compromise would have been on the weight and maybe on the comfort of the bike, and this we didn't want to compromise too much. Foil has always been a comfortable bike, racy bike, so that's why we try to implement some features to bring the comfort that we would have lost maybe somehow. So we have a good example with the seat post here. So we actually came back to a more smaller profile just to have more flex, and we took this opportunity to integrate tail light into it. Obviously for safety reasons it's quite needed now. Traffic is more and more dense everywhere in the world. So yeah, safety is another big thing we wanted to achieve here.
It's actually a light and a cover. So depending what you like on a training ride, for instance, you can just take the light, and if you go for race day, you can just put a lighter cover in.
Just a bit lighter.
The bike is delivered with the rubber cover only, and then you get separately the light if you want to have a light. And for the ones who want a bit harsher feeling, it's still possible to have a completely stiff one-piece seat post in case you want to get a bit lighter and that you feel like you don't need the comfort. If you don't care.
How much faster is this compared to your old bikes? I guess that's the ones you've tested it against.
To give easy numbers, it's 1 minute and 18 seconds over 40k faster at 45 kph. So that's massive. You don't need to push more, you just get faster.
You mentioned the tube profiles are now allowed to be, under the UCI rules, thicker. Has that made the bike heavier?
Potentially it could have made the bike heavier, but now we've been learning a lot and we did a lot of simulations, so finite element simulations, just to get the perfect layup. So you have to understand that one frame is made out of 500 pieces of carbon. So now the game is a bit to place them as accurately as possible to get the weight down, to increase the comfort, to increase the stiffness, without losing anything in terms of bike behavior. So that's quite a compromise we had to do in between all the parameters, but I think here we get maybe the best performing bike available in the market. So it's not only about aero, it's an whole package: aero, comfort, stiffness, bike handling, because the geometry is a big thing as well. So I think that's the perfect mix here.
I basically give like really like the first proportion ideas actually, and when we then go into the wind tunnel, we actually see, you know, which proportion actually makes sense, you know. So we would like try separate areas like the C-tube area, which was actually very interesting during the development, and then, you know, more obvious stuff like, for instance, like a really tall down tube. So the compromise that William was talking about, actually, like we identified really these areas where we had to really max out, you know, the tube dimensions, and then other areas where it actually was faster even to go smaller. And for us as in design, it's basically we like to think of the full system. So it's not just the frame and the fork, but really like with all components on it. So the seat post, the handlebar, also the lower aspect, aluminium stem and so on. We try to really design everything together, so in the end it looks also nice.
Definitely looks nice, especially this paint job. What was that all about?
It's quite special actually. We wanted to have a camouflage prototype paint job, just in case it would have leaked on social media before the official launch. Actually it worked. It was leaked like this. So the purpose was to hide as many lines as possible, and yeah, not to promote any brand, so there is no Scott logo on it, just raw with the blue color from the team DSM, because they were supposed to help and leak it. So yeah, that's the history behind this paint job. So one good example of what we did in the wind tunnel was to check a bit the profile of the seat post. We could have made it way thicker here, so a bigger profile, but we realized that when you have legs, so pedaling legs or rider on it, it was faster to get a smaller profile. Big profiles don't mean everything, and sometimes it makes no sense to go bigger.
Sometimes you have really these win-win situations.
Yeah, less material.
Exactly.
Better.
Also visually, you know, like, I mean, what is really cool on the bike is that you really have like all the big profiles in the front, and then it becomes a little bit like more delicate towards the rear, which gives it like a nice direction as well. So this is cool.
Like a nice detail is the tilt of the seat stay. So they are profiled towards the wheel to bring the airflow towards the wheel, and this is faster actually.
So inside the Scott HQ, there's a little museum which we've come to check out some of the older bikes, which have obviously been part of the progression towards the foil. Is this Cavendish's? And what one's that?
Annemiek van Vleuten. The main changes are obviously the brakes and the wheels tires. As soon as you change the brakes, then it's a different story. 18mm tires maybe, and now we are up to 28 on the rear.
Do you prefer engineering bikes with disc brakes?
It's a different spirit. We were limited by the brakes to get bigger tires because the volume was quite limited. The limitation was more on the wheels actually. So overheating the rims so that you could not make them out of carbon, or it was more complex. Then carbon was better for tubulars, and now we can get tubes or even tubeless. So it means that we can reduce the tire pressure because we can have bigger tires. So comfort is a big thing from the tires. Foil 1, foil 2, foil 2 disc brakes, and foil 3 you were on it for the afternoon.
We call this foil 2.5 because it's also with cable integration. It's done as disc brake.
Oh, that's the same as my old one.
Yes,
Yes, you have the same.
You have then the cable integration, and before it was foil 2.
Decent garage. Nice to meet you, man. Thank you. Absolute pleasure.
So for those following these videos for the last couple of weeks, you will know that this trip has been quite intense. Basically, cycled across Europe, got to Switzerland, went to see Sungod in Verbia, rode loads of mountain bikes, rode some road bikes, came over to here, and now I've ridden road bikes with the fastest engineer and designer in the world, I reckon. That was the hardest lunchtime loop ever. But an awesome experience, and hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of an insight into how the design process goes when it comes to designing a high-end road bike. My bikes are on the way home now. I'm going to fly home without them tomorrow, and then hopefully they'll turn up. I'm going to have a bit of a break when I get home, sleep for 2 days, and then back in the studio with some new videos. Thank you so much for all the support over the last couple of weeks. The response to those bikepacking videos was amazing, and I just want to say a big thanks because it makes me want to do more. So thank you, and see you guys soon.